Hey, Councilmember Murillo, looks like we have everybody.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. It's 3:01 and we'll call the meeting to order. All right. Do we have, we don't have approval of any minutes, it looks like. Are there any announcements?
None from
Not-
staff today.
Okay, I'm not seeing anyone's hands raised. Great. Then we'll just keep moving through. Any consent items? No. All right, new items. Boards and commissions review process. Is Jason Bachelor on?
All right. Can you see me and hear me?
Can
Yes.
hear you. And now I can see you. Yep.
Okay. So as you know, last year we came to council. We'd been hearing from some council members that they were interested in just looking at our overall boards and commissions. And so we've been looking at what we think a process might look like. And so what we want to do is kind of go to the boards or commissions with you all, with you're okay with that. We want to kind of seek input from them as to how they think their board or commission is looking. If they have any feedback for us, we want that process to be transparent for them. But with the overall goal, we want to make sure that these advisory boards are serving the function that council's looking for, that our boards and commissions processes and setups are working effectively and efficiently. As I talked a little bit about study session, we have a significant number of boards and commissions. There's some overlap, potential some redundancy, and so there's the ability to look at some of those operations, see if there's the ability to combine them and just look at how they're functioning, and then just make sure that it's serving the purposes council needs. So we want to work together with the members of those boards or commissions and the stakeholders just to make sure that we have something that meets council's needs. So with that, we were going to just make sure that if you guys had any guidance for us, but what we would do is reach out to the boards or commissions, get that feedback, and then come back to council with that feedback and some recommendations about what we're seeing from a staff perspective, give you that feedback from those boards or commissions, and then talk about next steps.
All right, thanks for that overview. Will you remind me of what other criteria, or like like I get, was the direction just to see if there's redundancy or engagement? Can you refresh
There
my memory?
was, yeah, there was. There was some also discussion around obviously looking at potentially hard to fill boards or commissions. So do we have boards or commissions that potentially have had um, a number of vacancies or routinely have vacancies? Just look at, kind of the missions of them to see if there's, where I try and identify where those overlaps may be. But I think that's primarily what council talked about, was looking at vacancies, looking at size of boards or commissions, and just really kind of looking for opportunities and getting feedback from both the boards, commissions, and council.
Great. Councilmember Gardner.
You kind of alluded to this, Jason, but just so I say it, one of my concerns was, because I'm assuming staff who is assigned to a board or commission, it's typically within their kind of area of expertise or whatever. And so if, we have a certain staff member or staff members who, serve on there's several boards and commissions they're responsible for, could those be combined kind of along the redundancy lines? Because that's one of my bigger concerns is, how many staff members we have to cover these. And I think usually it's probably at night they're having to cover it. And, if possible, I'm sure they'd rather be home with their families than, doing that if there's a way they could be combined. So that's, I guess I just make sure we're keeping staff time as part of that consideration and being respectful of their time.
We appreciate that, and staff does enjoy, I think, a lot of times supporting these, but there are some areas where there may be some overlap, and I think certainly making sure the boards and commissions feel supported, right? That they feel that they have a broad enough scope, and so I think there's potential to, in some cases, combine things and give those folks that are serving kind of a broader perspective for council, not maybe so narrow or having overlapping areas.
Yeah, I mean, that could even help with recruiting and attendance. Yeah, no, I can respect the staff time piece. You know, like we're public servants, but yeah, if you're having to be, you know, working evenings pretty regularly and the return doesn't feel, you know, like it's meaningful, I know that can be a little frustrating. Um, okay, great. Councilmember Medina, did you have anything you wanted to
No,
add on?
you guys asked questions. I was gonna look, so thanks.
The big change between study session is if you guys are okay with it, we want to do that outreach directly to the boards and commissions. We want them to feel heard in this process. And so we'll put together some kind of survey and outreach vehicle to allow those boards or commissions to give us their feedback. So that was the main thing I wanted to check in with you all on. And then, you know, next steps will be we'll consolidate that, take the staff feedback, and then come back to council.
That works for me if Councilmember Gardner and Medina are okay with that.
We're good.
All right, thumbs up and we're good.
Thank you both.
Yes, thank you, Jason. All right. I think we're just kicking it back to Laura on 2024 overview and recap.
Yes. So, looking back at 2024, the work of the committee. So one thing about the, we call this the PR Plus committee or Alphabet Soup committee. But a main focus of this group is hearing from our boards and commissions and the annual work that they are doing and areas of focus within each of their respective responsibilities as a board and commission to council. And so a lot of what you all hear are regular report outs. So in January of last year, we obviously did a similar recap, and we talked about the schedule for boards and commissions for the upcoming year. And those include the Veterans Affairs Commission, Human Relations Commission, the Aurora Youth Commission, our Commission for Older Adults. We also heard an update from DAVA in June of this year. The Cultural Affairs Commission under Library and Cultural Services, our Art and Public Places Commission in October, our Aurora Public Library Board in October as well. And then the Aurora Fox also has traditionally presented to this group their annual data and report. So in addition to the boards and commission reports last year, we did have a few items that came in front of the policy committee. In April, the group talked about the Historic Preservation State Income Tax Program, which really shifted this responsibility of reviewing tax credits back to the History Colorado, which is consistent with other entities in the area. We heard from the Library and Cultural Services Department on their annual plan and work focuses for the year. In June, Kim Stewart provided an annual update on the city's marketing plan. There was a resolution that came forward for a grant through our historic preservation team. And then jumping down to October, we heard an update on the Our Town grant, which is a grant that Library and Cultural Services applied for to activate Fletcher Plaza. We heard from Roberta Bloom on the proposed public art for the Fire Station 9 project. And then in November, there wasn't a quorum at the meeting. And so unfortunately, business was not conducted, but several of these presentations are planned for 2025. And so that is a recap of 2024. And now I'll pivot to 2025. So looking forward through the year, we will be scheduling board and commission annual reports and presentations to you all. And looking ahead to next month, the Library and Cultural Services Department is undertaking a strategic planning effort for the Aurora Public Library and a capital master planning effort for both libraries and our cultural services facilities respectively. So you'll be hearing a presentation on both the Aurora Public Library strategic plan as well as the cultural services master plan all of which will involve community engagement in those conversations and in the plan development. We'll also hear from the Aurora Fox and their annual report, which was planned to be at the end of last year in November, but was delayed to this year. So we'll hear from the Aurora Fox, as well as the annual report for the Veterans Affairs Commission. Moving forward for the year, we wanted to ask the committee if there were any topical areas or specific presentations that you all would like to see as part of your policy work this year.
Thanks, Laura. Councilmember Medina, do you have anything to add?
Nothing coming up right now.
Okay. Just if anything comes up, just shoot us an email. How about you, Councilmember Gardner?
Yeah, a couple things, and they kind of dovetail into what we've already talked about and some other projects that are being worked on in the city. But I know it looks like next month we have a few of our master plan and strategic plan overviews coming up. So, really interested in digging into those a little bit more. And then I think, kind of along the lines of the board and commission consolidation or review or whatever we want to call that, finding out ways that this committee can, so it sounds like, the reports are happening, but then what, right? So what are some additional ways that we can support and or advance, the work that some of our boards and commissions are doing? Because at the end of the day, like if they're meeting every month, they give a presentation to this committee and then that's kind of the end of it. Not sure there's a lot of value there. So I want to see if there are ways that we can, provide additional value. In looking at the plan or the recap, I guess, sorry, my dog is going crazy. In looking at the recap for last year, I think it kind of covers a lot of the topic areas that I'm interested in, but I guess that's what I would like to see is like, okay, so we get the presentation on, the Veterans Affairs Commissions, for example, like, what are we doing with that? What are some action steps we could take? And so, I don't know, that might be a conversation that's combined as part of the boards and commissions review, and also something to keep in mind as part of the boards and commissions review. But those are kind of a couple things that I would mention.
Okay. I think that sounds good. I guess along the same lines, do we, Laura, you probably will recall the matrix from the PROS policy committee, where it just like it kind of just like documents actions that were taken. I wonder if we could get a sense of that for at least the last year, just to like facilitate that conversation. Because was it this committee where the Veterans Affairs Commission proposed the reduction on, was it rec center fees? Maybe that would have been pro. Was it this
Correct.
one?
The Veterans Affairs Commission, as part of their annual report, came forward with a recommendations summary. And that was one of the recommendations that they had, that a resolution was sponsored by, I believe, Councilmember Medina to bring forward to the remainder of council to study session. And so that conversation initiated from this committee. You're correct.
Okay, just to like help kind of anchor, because I agree. I think that also helps like kind of just, hey, is this a valuable thing to do aside from just like a presentation to council members? What else? Okay, I think that sounds good. Yeah, I am wondering on the part of the acronym related to communications and tourism. I don't know if it would be overkill, but just like an idea of, we're having conversations. I'm assuming they go to like PED when we're talking about these like larger plans and such. But I don't know what else we do for the tourism part. I know like we often will have Kim with the comms department and like marketing, but if we're focusing on that piece, I'm not entirely sure and would be open to exploring that a little bit more.
In the past, we have had Bruce Dalton has provided an overview of Visit Aurora's marketing efforts. He has also provided an annual update to PED. He did that this last year in regards to some of the efforts around Aurora Borealis and other destination marketing organization activities that he's doing. So we can certainly invite him to come and present on the marketing piece of tourism in partnership with Kim, if that's of interest.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's it on my end. I think Kim. Yes, Kim.
I hope you can hear me. It wasn't allowing me to unmute. I just wanted to say I'm available to answer any specific questions, but we can do our marketing report and a shared report with Visit Aurora. So on places where they're focused solely on tourism and where we're focused together on joint projects. So happy to do that.
Sounds good. Okay. I think that wraps up this item. Thank you. Any miscellaneous items for consideration?
None from staff today.
Doesn't look like from our council members. All right. Anticipated topics for next meeting. Anything we need to know about those presentations?
No, I would say, you all will hear a lot about the Aurora Public Library strategic plan and the 2 master planning efforts. We plan to bring back routine updates on those as we progress through the next several months. So that will be a standing item. The Aurora Fox report, as I mentioned, was planned to be for the end of the year last year and got delayed till this year. This is, as a reminder, the 40th year in season for the Fox. So that, I believe the opening night, and Ginger can correct me if I'm wrong, is January 31st. So this Friday is the opening show. So lots going on, good things with the Aurora Fox. And then also we have the Veterans Affairs Commission annual report at our next meeting as well.
Great. Okay, and we're good for February 19th. No conflicts. Great. Okay, I think we're good to go. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next month.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.